All right, good evening. LocsNLoad Firearm Reviews here today. All right, guys. As the title reads, I'm going to be going over my thoughts of the new law that was passed that goes into effect on July 1st, the Florida Constitutional Carry Law. All right. So first, let's talk about what constitutional carry is, right, or what's being passed. So the state of Florida has come out with their new laws defining or relating to the unlicensed carrying of a firearm, right? And so with those new amendments or revisions to the law, it allows for people to conceal carry a firearm without a license, as long as they meet the standards and criteria that would allow for that person to have a concealed carry license. Right, so basically, if you meet the standards to have a concealed carry license, then you will be legally allowed to conceal carry. All right. And so it also goes into talking about non-residents of the state of Florida. So i.e., if you're Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, New York, right? If you're a resident coming into the state of Florida, do you need a concealed carry license? And the answer is no, as long as you meet the requirements or criteria to get a concealed carry license in the state of Florida. All right. So make sure that's clearly defined. It also went into talking about how the local law enforcement should help schools with their, RSOs, their school resource officers, training programs, and funding and other stuff like that to help schools get armed security protection. But the main meat and potatoes of the law was the unlicensed carrying of a firearm by a person. All right. There's a video on YouTube right now by a Florida defense lawyer, or Florida, I think he's a defense lawyer, but it's a Florida lawyer, and he goes into this law in depth, subsection by subsection, all the way through what meets these requirements and who is or what can prevent you from being eligible for this unlicensed concealed carrying, whatnot. And so I highly recommend you guys go watch his video to get a more in-depth understanding of the actual law, because I'm not a lawyer, I'm a firearm instructor. And so I'm not going to sit here and, tell you a bunch of stuff I honestly don't even understand myself. Right, that's why I watched his video, and he gave me a great understanding, in which I recommend to you guys as well. And I'll put the video in the description box when this video goes live. All right, and so basically, if you meet the criteria to conceal carry in the state of Florida, you will be legally allowed to carry a firearm without a license. Now, if you ask what is the requirement, you can go on Google and go to Fresh Florida, whatnot, and find the requirements. So basically, be a United States resident, be 21 years or older, have no criminal history or convictions. You can't have been institutionalized at a mental institution. So if you've been Baker acted, you're not going to be eligible. I know it's talking about certain convictions within 3 years. But basically, if you had any type of conviction or any type of substance abuse, whether it be alcohol or drugs, that can also prevent you from being eligible under this law. And the thing that the lawyer was going into about is that if you have any, let's say you got arrested 2007 and you did everything you thought you needed to wrap the case up, but there might have been a few things on the back end that you didn't know about that could also prevent you from concealed carrying, but you not know about it until, let's say you get pulled over and asked, they run your ID and your license and say, hey, you still have this on your record, you're not allowed to carry, and now it goes on from there. So definitely, I would highly recommend that if you ever did anything in the past, to make sure all that is tidied up before you step out your house with a firearm in your pants and no license, right? So, what I was going on, again, if you have any substance or drug abuse in your history, that could also prevent you from being eligible in this law. If you have any physical ailments that prevent you from safely handling a firearm, that could also prevent you from being eligible under this law. All right, so again, I highly recommend you guys go on, to the website, look at, the actual requirements for concealed carry. I'll put them up on the screen for you guys. But make sure you meet all these criterias before you think you're just good to go with a gun in your pants and no license, right? And so the question I get asked is, I get multiple questions, but one of them is, do I still have to wait 3 days to purchase a firearm? The answer is yes. Without a concealed carry license, you still have to wait 3 days before you can take your purchased firearm home. So another reason to get your license. Again, people ask me, do I even need a license? What's the point of a license if there's constitutional carry? And constitutional carry is only good in the state of Florida, right? So the moment you leave the state of Florida, other states may not allow you to conceal carry in their states without a license, the way Florida will allow you to July 1st. So again, having your license is, again, a good CYA for you when you're traveling about the United States. Because again, Florida reciprocates with 38 states. So it's the most amount of states out of any other state. And so it gives you a good coverage. So let's go, you go to Tennessee and you get pulled over and stopped, you have your Florida CCW, you're still good, right? And so if you try that and then you pull out your Florida driver's license, you're like, well, in Florida, we can do this. You over here in a different place, dog, it doesn't work like that. So still getting your license is beneficial. And another thing that getting a license provides to you, that as an instructor is one of my main concerns of this whole law being passed, is that you get education on the Second Amendment, firearms, the law, the legal process, all that. All right, you get that at least from us. I can't say from these backwoods instructors that just put a sign out and a phone number and a price, right? I can't speak for those, but at least here at K&A Firearms, we're gonna give you, how to shoot a firearm, the different types of firearms, what gear goes along with the firearms, what happens after a self-defense shooting, before, during, and after. Where do I shoot? What do I say to the police when they pull up? What do I say to my lawyer? How do I get a lawyer? What's going to happen in court in the process throughout my case and trial? What are some things I can do to help me in a gunfight or avoid a gunfight? What are kind of things like awareness tricks and tips, things like that? We give you the whole gamut here at K&A when we do our concealed carry classes. So there's a level of education that comes with it that a lot of people in the state of Florida are not going to get come July 1st. And so I really tell people to be careful, even more so, because if you haven't seen the string of shootings that's going on, where Ralph Yarrow, the young black man who knocked on the wrong door, got shot. The cheerleaders who accidentally got in the wrong car and got out, she got shot. There's another case where kids were playing basketball and the basketball rolled in someone's yard, and the guy started shooting at a bunch of kids and the family members. Luckily, no one died, but several people were hit. And there's other cases where we see people just randomly shooting people because they think for some reason they're in the right. But again, that comes with education or the lack of education. And so as an instructor, that's my main concern, is how is all these people going to be educated on when can I shoot? What is self-defense versus reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon or something, or any of these other manslaughter, things like that. Like, what's the difference between self-defense and murder? Where am I good and where am I not good? Like, how are they going to get this education? And I tell people, to be honest, expect to see an increased amount of shootings in the state of Florida, because there's going to be a lot of people with firearms who don't know exactly where they can carry, or they don't know how to conduct themselves with a firearm. The moment, oh, F you, bam, firing a shot, like gun shooting, right? So expect to see an increased amount of that in the state of Florida for the next few years, until people kind of learn from the faults and failures of other people that, hey, maybe I shouldn't do that, right? Because that's kind of how, if you look at the history of humans, that's honestly kind of how we learn a lot of the things we do, right? How do we know something's poisonous? Because usually someone tried to eat it or touched it or around it and they just died. And we saw that and was like, I'm not doing that. right? And so I feel like that same process is gonna have to happen here in Florida. Somebody's, oh, he cut me off, so I shot him, and he goes to jail, and people are gonna have to be like, all right, maybe shooting somebody because they cut me off isn't a good idea, right? They're gonna see, oh, they knocked on my door, and I was scared and feared for my life and shot through the door. And people are gonna look at the news and be like, all right, maybe shooting somebody through the door is not a good move. And so that's my main concern as a firearm instructor, is the lack of education that's going to be given to these people. And then like the common thought is, oh, I don't need a license, or I don't need any type of training, because, you know, for some reason, I guess people think they buy a gun, and once they buy a gun, they buy all the education that comes with the gun. Like, I don't know, it's like the Matrix, like you just download how to be tactical. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And so again, I tell people, you know, especially in the state of Florida, really be careful, you know, to mind your business. You know, you see something really happening, popping off. Remember, after July 1st, really, I'm not gonna say any and everybody, but pretty much, right? As long as they haven't committed any serious crimes or been to a mental institution or anything like that, or, you know, right, anything serious, they're gonna be able to carry a gun on their person. And so you never know when someone could just pop off, right? Granted, they could have gone 46 years, never been in trouble, and then for some reason they just snap and they just go off, right? And so I just tell people to be careful. You know, you don't want to be out there arguing with people. You know, if someone cuts you off, you know, don't you know, instigate the situation. Like, don't get out your car and walk up to the window. Please don't do that. Please don't get out your car and just walk up to them like, what the fuck? That's not good. And so definitely I want people to be cautious. Just because constitutional carry has gone into effect does not mean you know how to shoot. And so if you want to know how to shoot, if you want the education of where I can and can't carry, what are some awareness tips I can use in my everyday life to avoid a gunfight, or to give myself as much of a time window as possible to make a decision on whether I want to run, hide, or fight, right? Where are the legalities of this stand your ground law? I hear this in Florida all the time. Stand your ground, the Castle doctrine. LocsNLoad, what is that? We will explain that to you here at K&A. You know, the defense of property versus defense of like your home or yourself, right? Because there's a difference, right? You can't just shoot somebody because they stole your TV. You just can't, right? We'll go into, can you shoot someone in the back? There's a yes and no to this. Also, firearms. What type of firearms do you need or you should get? What accessories that come with these firearms can help you out when you're trying to conceal carry these firearms, especially with women. Women have numerous ways to conceal carry. So all the questions, the in-depth knowledge that I wish people were getting come July 1st, we do that here at K&A, and I implore you guys to sign up if you're in the area and nearby, because again, come July 1st, there's going to be a lot of people out there carrying a gun, and they don't know what to do, right? To be honest, they don't know what to do. And so here at K&A, we want to make you as prepared as possible for all kinds of things that may happen, whether it be the end of the world, or it might just be, you know, someone trying to take your car, someone's trying to come in your house. You're just trying to defend yourself and your loved ones, right? So again, sign up at KNAaccessories.com. The link will be in the description box below. On top of that, guys, I want to thank you for the video, watching the video. And if you have any comments, please do put them in the comment section so I can read them and answer to a few of them. What are your thoughts on this constitutional carry law being passed? Do you think it's a good thing, or do you think it's a bad thing? I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. And, you know, share this video with a friend or two if you guys enjoy this type of content. On top of that, I want you guys to stay educated, stay dangerous. LocsNLoad out.